after 6 or 7 years of doing this, over 100 new SARS-related coronaviruses, very close to SARS. Some of them get into human cells in the lab. Some of them can cause SARS disease in humanized mouse models and are treatable with therapeutic monoclonals, and you can't vaccinate against them with the vaccine. So these are a clear and present danger.
Yeah.
We've even found people with antibodies in Yunnan to SARS-related coronaviruses. So there's human exposure.
Right.
We're now doing surveillance. We're just beginning another 5 years of work to look at cohorts in southern China to say, well, how frequent does this spillover happen, and is it associated with disease? Because I expect, just like Nipah in Bangladesh, there are dozens and dozens of small spillovers going on the planet any one time, which we just never see.
Sure. Yeah, they never amplify. There are a few cases, and they're just absorbed in the illness, the overall illness of the population, right?
Now, you could say, so who cares? And that's one argument. But our strategy is any one of those could become pandemic. There's a lot of stochasticity in what happens then.
Yeah.
So if we look at all of them, understand patterns, try and reduce the number of spillover events, we've got,
But if you're saying these are diverse coronaviruses and you can't vaccinate against them, there are no antivirals, what do we do?
Well, so I think that coronaviruses are pretty good. I mean, you're a virologist, you know all this stuff, but you can manipulate them in the lab pretty easily. It's just spike protein drives a lot of what happens with the coronavirus, zoonotic risk. So you can get the sequence, you can build the protein, and we work with Ralph Barrick at UNC to do this. Insert it into a backbone of another virus, and do some work in the lab. So you can get more predictive.
Yeah, okay. So I think that speaks volumes.
Yeah, I mean, like you guys, I posted, the link is in the description right now if you want to watch it. It's a fascinating interview.
Yeah.
Now, to super sum it up, they were very aware of bat-derived coronaviruses in Yunnan province in China.
Yes.
I had already read about that in all of Shizhong Li's reports. This is all online, guys. This is not some secret bullshit. This is online research papers, right? Yeah. Now, the bat-derived coronavirus thing, they found antibodies in people in China already because they had been exposed to it from bat crossover, right? Now, at this point, with the whole lab leak theory, with the whole fact that it could be a zoological spillover, that needs to be left up to the scientists, right?
Sure.
The fingers are kind of pointing more in the direction at this point that it was probably a lab leak and it's not intentional.
Sure.
But with all of this hilarious rhetoric that the Chinese government was pulling, that coronaviruses can't be manipulated, that they said, Peter goes, they're easily manipulated.
Yes.
Coronaviruses, you can change the spike protein.
Yeah.
Coronaviruses are very hard to treat.
Yeah.
They're obviously very easy to cross over, right?
Yeah.
I saw some people in the comments that it's very important that I say this. When he said it can't be vaccinated against, and they're like, see, no. The whole point of viruses is when they go from zoological spillover from animal to human. Of course, you can't vaccinate against something that's only been in an animal.
Sure.
The virus mutates when it becomes a part of a human being. So you can vaccinate against a human virus. Coronavirus, COVID-19, what we're dealing with now, is a human virus now.
Sure.
You can't vaccinate against a virus that hasn't gone into a human yet. That's what he's saying. But anyway, the whole point is all of this rhetoric from day one, excusing everything that China had to do with this. It's very clear that coronavirus started in China. And it's not important to understand that because, China's dirty wet markets or something. No. The point is that we have to understand where the reservoirs are, how they come and have zoological spillover, and how they're being manipulated in labs where we don't necessarily have the best diplomatic ties with. Sure. Right? You can't have this massive super lab where people who are clearly bought out by China are the only people allowed to see what's going on. That's inhumane.
One thing I'd like to